What do you call a king who ordered the slaughter of every infant boy in a village just to cling to his throne? A ruler who executed his own wife, sons, and kin, yet built monuments so breathtaking they awed the ancient world? Welcome to Singularity Animations, where ancient myths, forgotten legends, and hidden truths are brought back to life. Today, we unravel the story about the Herod the Great, Judea's paranoid genius, a man whose reign was a tightrope walk between brilliance and bloodshed. From 37 to 4 BC, this Roman-backed king transformed Judea into a glittering stage of terror, where loyalty was a trap and ambition a death warrant. His name is forever tied to the chilling massacre of the innocents, a tale so horrific it's etched into biblical infamy. Was he a visionary architect or a bloodthirsty tyrant, a monster or a mastermind? Buckle up, because we're plunging into the dark, twisted saga of a king whose crown was forged in fear and whose legacy is carved in stone and screams. Herod wasn't born with a silver scepter. Born around 73 BC to an Idumean father, a convert to Judaism from a land south of Judea, and a Nabatean mother from Arabia's desert tribes, he was an outsider in a kingdom that prized pure bloodlines. Judea's Jewish elite sneered at him, calling him a half-Jew unfit to rule. But Herod was no ordinary man. He was a scorpion in human form, cunning, ruthless, and impossible to ignore. By his early 20s, as governor of Galilee, he hunted bandits with such savage efficiency that Roman generals took note. When Judea descended into chaos after Julius Caesar's assassination, Herod played the game of empires like a master. He aligned with Mark Antony, Rome's rising star, and when rival Antigonus seized Jerusalem, Herod struck back. In 37 BC, backed by Roman legions, he besieged the holy city, massacred Antigonus' supporters, and claimed the crown. But a throne won by blood is never secure, and Herod's paranoia was already sharpening its claws. Herod didn't just want to rule, he wanted to dazzle, to silence his critics. He transformed Judea into a showcase of architectural splendor. He rebuilt the Second Temple in Jerusalem, turning a modest sanctuary into a marble-clad marvel with golden spires that gleamed under the desert sun. Pilgrims wept at its beauty. Even Jesus would later walk its courts. He carved Masada from a desert cliff, a fortress palace defying gravity and enemies alike. In Caesarea, he defied nature itself, building an artificial harbor with massive stone breakwaters to rival Rome's ports. Aqueducts snaked across barren hills, bringing water to thirsty cities. Theaters hosted Greek dramas, and hippodromes roared with chariot races. These weren't just buildings, they were Herod's defiance, proof he could outshine the Hasmonean dynasty he toppled. Yet, every stone laid was a reminder greatness came at a cost. Taxes crushed the poor, and forced labor claimed lives. Behind the marble facades, Herod's spies lurked, ready to pounce on any whisper of dissent. Herod's throne was a house built on sand, and no threat shook him more than a prophecy from the east. Around 6 BC, Magi, star-gazing sages from Persia, arrived in Jerusalem. Their words like daggers. The star had risen, heralding a new king of the Jews. The prophecy cut Herod like a knife. His throne, hard-won through blood and betrayal, was his obsession. He'd already executed priests and nobles for lesser threats. The idea of a divinely ordained rival? Unthinkable. According to the Gospel of Matthew, Herod's response was apocalyptic. He ordered his soldiers to Bethlehem with a command that still horrifies: slaughter every male child under 2 in Bethlehem and its outskirts. Homes were invaded, mothers screamed, and blood stained the streets. Scholars argued numbers. Bethlehem's small size suggests maybe 10 to 20 children died. But the horror was real. This was no mere power play. It was a desperate act to rewrite fate. The massacre of the innocents branded Herod as a villain for eternity, a king who'd kill babies to kill a rumor. Herod's paranoia didn't spare his own blood. His 10 marriages were less about love than strategy, each wife a pawn in his political chess game. Miriam, his second wife and a Hasmonean princess, was his greatest prize and his deepest wound. Her royal lineage gave him legitimacy, but also stoked his insecurity. By 29 BC, whispers of her infidelity, likely planted by his sister Salome, drove him to madness. He ordered her execution, her beauty no match for his jealousy. Afterward, he wandered his palace, sobbing her name, haunted by the wife he'd killed. His sons fared no better. Alexander and Aristobulus, Miriam's sons, were handsome, educated, and dangerous, potential heirs with royal blood. By 7 BC, Herod accused them of plotting his murder. They were strangled and sebased, their bodies barely cold before Herod wept crocodile tears. His son Antipater met a similar fate in 4 BC, stoned to death on fabricated treason charges. Roman Emperor Augustus, no stranger to ruthlessness, quipped, "I'd rather be Herod's pig than son," a nod to Herod's nominal adherence to Jewish dietary laws. His court became a tomb of silence, where relatives lived in terror. Knowing love was no shield against his blade. Herod's rule wasn't just cruel, it was a masterclass in control. He built a surveillance state that would make modern dictators blush. His secret police, drawn from loyalists and mercenaries, slithered through Jerusalem's markets, synagogues, and even private homes. Informants were everywhere, servants, merchants, even priests. A careless word about the king could land you in chains. Herod rewarded snitches with silver and punished the accused with torture. His favorite tool was the rack, stretching victims until their screams confessed anything. Public executions were his theater. Rebels were crucified along Judea's roads, their rotting corpses a billboard of his wrath. In one chilling episode, he burned 40 students alive for tearing down a golden eagle he placed above the temple gate, a symbol of Roman power. Yet, Herod's genius balances terror. He negotiated with Rome to keep Judea semi-independent, outwitting rivals like Cleopatra. His tax reforms funded his grand projects, and his diplomatic gifts, lavish banquets for Roman envoys, kept emperors appeased. To the world, he was a statesman. To his people, a specter. Herod's mind was a labyrinth of fear and grandeur. He saw himself as Judea's savior, a new Solomon, yet lived in dread of betrayal. He built fortresses like Herodium, a hilltop palace with secret tunnels, as if hiding from his own shadow. His obsession with legacy led to bizarre rituals. He commissioned golden statues of himself, demanding offerings at their feet. He consulted astrologers and soothsayers, desperate to outrun prophecies of his downfall. By his 60s, his body betrayed him. Chronic kidney disease, possibly worsened by diabetes, rotted his flesh. Ancient historian Josephus describes a grotesque end. Worms crawled from his wounds, his breath reeked of decay, and pain drove him to fits of rage. Yet his paranoia burned brighter. In 4 BC, fearing his death would spark celebration, he ordered Judea's nobles rounded up in Jericho's hippodrome. His plan? Slaughter them upon his death to ensure mourning. His sister Salome, ever the pragmatist, freed them after he died, sparing Judea one final bloodbath. Herod's end came in 4 BC in Jericho, his body racked by seizures, his mind lost to delusions of enemies in every corner. He screamed at mirrors, seeing traitors in his own reflection. His tomb, discovered in 2007 at Herodium, was a monument to his ego, carved into a man-made mountain, filled with treasures but no peace. His death fractured Judea, sparking revolts and dividing his kingdom among his surviving sons, none of whom matched his ruthless brilliance. The Romans tightened their grip, and Judea's golden age faded into chaos. Herod the Great was a paradox in a crown. His second temple stood for decades, a beacon of faith. His ports and fortresses reshaped the ancient world. Yet his name is synonymous with horror, the massacre of the innocents, the murder of his family, the crucifixion of dissenters. He was a Roman pawn who outsmarted his masters, a Jew who alienated his faith, a builder whose monuments were paid for in blood. His reign of 33 years outlasted many rivals, but at what cost? His story asks us, can genius justify atrocity? Can greatness coexist with evil? Herod's Judea was a marvel built on a graveyard, and his shadow looms large, proof that power unchecked turns even visionaries into villains. If this journey into Herod the Great's blood-soaked reign gripped you, there's a crypt full of dark history waiting to be cracked open. Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment with the twisted ruler you want us to unearth next. Trust me, Herod's not alone in history's Hall of Horrors. Thank you for watching Singularity Animations. If this tale of forbidden knowledge and immortal fate intrigued you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join us next time as we continue to unravel the forgotten secrets of the ancient world.